Hey everybody, this is Talking of Carl back again for another Valentine's Day uh February theme movie review. I just want to let you guys know, you know, yesterday I just was gets congested and everything like that. So hearing me speak, it might sound a little weird, but uh I'm better than I was yesterday after I streamed a little bit of the Harry Potter game. But uh I need to get like some uh halls or something. I got me some tea so I can somewhat verbally articulate what I'm going to say. And as far as like the chaotic lore video, I'm going to do one this week. I want to do it earlier this morning, as well as going to the gym today on my day off. But I don't think it's a good idea for me to still not be around people. So hopefully I can just go on Saturday. Hopefully be better by then. But anyway, yeah. So don't worry, the chaos lore video that's supposed to be today, I will do it. If not later this evening, definitely tomorrow on Friday. So don't worry, you'll get it. But anyway, we're continuing on the romantic train with the 1987 movie classic Stakeout, starring Richard Dreyfuss and Emilio Estevez. In case you don't know, Emilio Estevez is the older brother to Charlie Sheen and son to Martin Sheen. We also have Aidan Quinn as Richard Montgomery, Madeline Stowe as Maria McGuire, Forrest Whitaker as Detective Jack Pismo, Dan Luria as Detective Phil Coldshank. The 80s, especially 80s cop type of movies. Some things can be a bit wacky, especially with sometimes the names. Oh, Richard Dreyfuss plays Detective Chris Lacey, and Emilio plays Detective Bill Ramirez. Anyway, I'm pretty sure you wonder why you have this kind of cop movie as one of the Valentine's Day February theme movies. There is a romantic component in this movie, as you'll see why as I go through the story. So, anyway, the movie opens with Montgomery breaking out of prison with the help of his cousin, uh, Kaylor Reese, played by Ian Tracy. Excuse me. Played by Ian Tracy. And now word gets out with the FBI that we gotta set up a bunch of stakeouts to find this guy because he killed the FBI agent. Instead of getting the chair, he had like a sharp lawyer, so he just got sent to prison. We are introduced to Lacey and Ramirez, and it's this scene always stuck out to me because I watched this as a kid. I watched this like a bunch of times. I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I love cop movies in general, but this scene at the diner where uh, Lacey, who's a little bit of an older cop compared to Ramirez, as like you mentioned, he's in his 30s. The different dynamics, because I like this kind of like a flip on what you expect from these type of dynamics, where typically it's the older cop who's more organized, has a wife, children, and the younger dude uh is the single dude who's has the unorthodox method of doing things. And this is like a cool flip on that. And you see Lacey ordering all this breakfast stuff, which by the way I really wanted some breakfast sandwiches or whatnot from Chick-fil-A this morning, but it's whatever, but Grubhub, it's just it gets crazy expensive. But anyway, he has two toasts. He put like the egg, bacon. He even orders some sausage, and he's like put it all together and hot sauce and everything like that, and grosses out Ramirez. It's like like, dude, you're a pig. You gotta savor the cuisine and everything like that. Now, I don't begrudge Lacey how he combined his little breakfast stuff. Now, I don't eat egg, but I excuse me. I don't eat egg, but usually if I have like a just depending on the breakfast, I get like some toast. If I have hash browns, like if you at McDonald's breakfast, I have my you know uh uh like turkey or an English muffin or whatever like that. I have some hash browns. I put it in there with some syrup or jelly, usually jelly, and like just combine it to make a decent breakfast sandwich tailor made to my liking. So I get it. And sure, it might, some of this stuff might not be healthy, but you gotta enjoy yourself every once in a while. They are ironically staking out a fish market, area, checking on this orange hair dude who they've been trying to nab for a minute. Once they spot him, they chase him down, but then he ends up getting away. In the ensuing chaos, uh, uh, Lacey falls into this uh like a disposal or tanker or something like that, full with a bunch of uh, gutted fish, and it's just like coming right back into the precinct, smelling all to high heaven. That's where they go to their captain, who uh asks Lacey Ramirez, as well as Jack Pismo and Phil Colshank, uh to help out with the FBI, because there's an agent who wants to collab with the Seattle PD, which is where the movie's based in. And this dude is, I mean, I watched a lot of like videos where excuse me, where cops react to certain cop movies or TV shows, and one of them brought up about, you know, one organization collaborating with another organization, and there's no, you know, pissing contest between one organization and another. They all after the same dude, and they're working to nab this dude to bring him to jail. So, you know, it's all Hollywood where you get like you know, an FBI and local PD you know, distrusting each other, because that's not gonna help nobody. But this dude is a complete, you know, a-hole, where it's like pretty much like the way he's talking down to him like they're like 10 years old. It's like, you know, we're looking for, don't go after them, basically telling them don't do their jobs as cops. Like, you know, if you see them, don't go after them. You know, you call us, and, you know, we'll take care of them. We're after some really bad people. This is a team effort. And I like Richard Dreyfuss's moment in this, where he just lays it out in front of everybody. It's like, so yeah, basically you want us to give you a call so you can get the keys to the city, because look, I'm not a security guard, I'm a cop. If I see some bad people, I'm gonna be too busy to make a phone call. And then the FBI agent got a nerve to have an attitude when you just basically disrespected them and their profession and what they do for a living. But I really like the scene. And I mean, this is like where you get the most childish antics, where Lacey and Ramirez keeps, you know, get into it with Prismo and Kolshank, where just acting like children, where it's like, oh, we don't want to work with on a stakeout with these guys again because they don't clean up after them. They don't clean up after themselves, and then like, well, your dog, you know, like peed all over the place, and it's, you know, the captain had to like, you know, hey, I don't care, you don't like each other, y'all gonna work with each other. Oh, and what I was about to say in terms of that FBI agent, shoot, I lost it, but oh, they have like a bunch of stakeouts monitoring different people and places that Montgomery could be, and they charging these cops to look after the spot where his former girlfriend Maria McGuire stays at, where they already got some agents looking after staking out the place that she worked, while these 4 cops use this abandoned apartment to stake out across the street right from her house, conveniently. But they consider it a low priority. Now, I don't know if it's just because it was the 80s, but, and I'm not a cop, but I've seen a lot of cop stuff, like, you know, like Law and Order and whatnot. You would think the ex or current significant other will be top priority, Because it's just like, if a wife or a husband is found murdered, who's the most likely suspect? The significant other. So if you're looking for this criminal, you would probably put your best FBI agents, make her the top of the priority to do the constant stakeout, and the low priority would be, something else, like sticking out a old hangout that Montgomery used to frequent 3 or 4 years ago. That would probably be a low priority. I thought that was weird. Like, you don't think an ex-girlfriend is high priority of a stakeout? That was weird. As they're setting up, you begin to learn about Prismo and Colshank stake out during the day, while Ramirez and Lacey stay out during the night. And it's here where you get to know a little bit about these two's, like, personal lives, where like Ramirez has a wife and a son, while Lacey is currently going through a divorce, to which this woman takes darn near everything out of the apartment, even the blinds. Just because she paid for them, she took the blinds. That is a whole nother level of pettiness that is just wild to me. That's like, you can't even come home after sticking out all night to come lay down, and you can't get a good nap because the sun is beaming through the window. That is petty. And you also learn a bit that Lacey used to probably had a alcohol problem, where he has this unsealed, he has this sealed champagne bottle where it's not open. And then his partner is like, "Did you crack the seal yet?" "No." He's like, "Okay, then put it back." I like that. You don't even need a full-on dialogue or explanation. You can just infer from, like, because this is directed by the guy who made things like Short Circuit and 1979's Dracula, John Badham. And it's just like laying down the groundwork of, like, he has this bottle that's not open, and his partner just saying like, "Oh, did you unseal it?" "No." "Then put it back." Because you probably hear from like people who are dealing with alcoholism and stuff like that, is that sometimes they have like I'm not sure how true it is in real life, but I've seen it in films or TV shows where it's like you keep like a sealed bottle of alcohol in the house, mainly to remind you not to go down that route when things get tough, that kind of thing. So I like that dynamic. You get learn. It's not like a big thing. That's not the crux of his story, but it's a little added thing that you learn more about his life prior to this. And once they go on their stakeout, they going through Maria's profile, and one of them mentions about her weight, like she's like 300 pounds. But once they see her going in her house after work, and she is a beautiful thin woman who's half like Irish and half Mexican. And it's like either somebody gave them bad intel, or she, like they said, like she must have went on a diet, because this woman, like, A, how old is this information, and B, did they give them bad information on purpose, or they, just not do their job correctly when making up this profile to make sure it's current, so that way they can operate properly? Because police organizations need current profiles so they can properly, check a person. It's like saying like, oh, this person that we're sticking out has a goatee, but then you see the person the first time and they clean shaven, and it's like, okay, you not updated the stuff. Or they have like orange hair but they are blue. That's not current information. So uh hijinks ensues between these four detectives. It's so childish, but it's so freaking funny, where they like like Ramirez and Lacey sabotage the bathroom where Cole Shank walks in and a bunch of tissue rolls fall on top of his head. But then they retaliate by having Cole Shank's dog pee on I'm pretty sure it was Ramirez's car. But then they fire back by Ramirez getting a wild cat, and for some reason the door is unlocked, but he opens the door, puts the cat inside, closes it back, and then wait until Prismo and Koshank bring goes into the car with Koshank's dog, and then it just starts like a cat dog fight immediately, and like the dog starts running off being chased by the cat, and like they're just like having like a freaking ball just watching them just freak out. It is so freaking funny. And it's like they fired back by that old prank where you got binoculars and you put some black marker or paint or whatever on it, so when it's like Ramirez like they done something, I don't know what it is, but I know they done something. It's like he asking Lacey, like, do you know what it is? He's like, yeah, I know what it is. What? And he points to the mirror, and he sees like the black thing. It is so, it's like the level of petty childish behavior between these detectives makes me laugh every time. But anyway, Lacey poses as a phone operator, and walks inside to pretty much place a bug on her phones, so they can get like ears inside. But as she's about to leave, because she had like a brother is in trouble and everything like that, she leaves, and Lacey sneaks back in through the back window. And first and foremost, I want to bring this up now when I'm thinking about it. This woman, might be the 80s, I'm not sure. This is a woman who works at a diner but has like a big house. Maybe it's like a duplex kind of situation, maybe, but it doesn't appear that way. But it's like, okay, how you afford this? Like I said, it might be a duplex. It has to be, because it's made no sense how like she affords all that on a diner salary. Anyway, he sneaks in rummaging through her stuff just to find any kind of info, if she like keeping tabs or keeping in touch with this guy, even though it was made clear that uh after the first year or two, she stopped visiting and writing to Montgomery, and Montgomery is breaking out and going back to Seattle because he, a long time ago, he bought a couch for her, and he hidden money, at least $500,000, in the couch that she doesn't know is there. I'm pretty sure, like, she probably found that, and that's how she was like able to pay for this stuff. But she comes back pretty fast, and he's had to hide. Lacey has to hide underneath the bed while she's changing her clothes and about to take a shower. And I know this is kind of creep mode here, but he watches outside the bathroom and watches her take a shower, and it was always creepy even for back then. But today's standards, you definitely do not tolerate that kind of stuff. They won't play something like this in a movie or a TV show unless you're playing the character as like a real creep of a actual bad guy, because they don't have a protagonist gawking at a woman taking a shower, because that is very, very creepy. But he leaves out through the back window, and then these two meet up again when, on a different night, when they need some food in the place while they're sticking it out. So he goes to a grocery store around the corner where he meets up with her, and they flirt a little. And this is like a funny moment between Richard Dreyfuss and this cashier. And this cashier is extra judgy, but she's looking at all of Lacey's groceries. It's like, eating between the meals. He mocks her, eating between meals. I was like, girl, mind your business. Instead of judging him for buying whatever, I guess it's junk food or whatever, but it's just like, wow, you are very judgy for a cashier. But then for some reason, Maria, I don't want to say for some reason, but Maria biked. She got a bike, and she biked from her house to the grocery store, because I guess it's just around the corner, not that far. So she didn't need to actually drive her actual car there. But it's like her bike has a flat now, and it's starting to rain, and she sees Lacey, who's giving her a false name, Bill, to give her a lift. And he gives her a ride, helps her with her stuff into the house, and it's like a funny moment where it's like her back is turned, and he just looking, knows his partner's likely watching. He's just mouthing like, I don't like, I didn't mean any of this. It's like so she helps her with stuff, and they start to get to know each other a little bit. She was born on the Day of the Dead, so every year on her birthday, people gift her with like these kind of skeleton figurines, and she mentioned how, like, she's like, had her filled with bad boys. She wants to finally meet somebody nice, and you know, she has a little brother who's, you know, in trouble, and she, you know, she doesn't want him to uh go through like the whole prison system and everything like that. And Bill mentions like, oh, I know some cop friends, you know, that might help you out with your situation. So he ends up speaking with, I mean, you know, pulling a few strings, where he meets up with the brother, hands him a card with some information for like a mechanic or something like that, or construction, and just to keep him out of trouble, because he was breaking into a car, you know, for his girlfriend and everything like that. And I think it was like a moment where he brings up about his girlfriend's father doesn't like him. Like, oh wow, you break in people's cars. Wonder why he does not like you. But anyway, uh, um, so uh, he, Lacey ends up giving Maria his phone number, house phone number, because, and now keep in mind, certain dialogues he has with her, he has to like cut the recording so that way he doesn't get put on, because they record a lot of dialogue, whatever she's having and stuff like that, and what she's doing. So he knows he's not supposed to get too involved with this woman, but just to avoid any kind of suspicion, and also he actually is digging her, he gives her his house number. And this is really funny here. It's like she calls him one morning, and keep in mind the other detectives are monitoring during the day, and it took him a minute to realize, like, it's like holy, as he mouthed, I gotta go now. I'll call you back. Because like it took him a minute to realize, because he was just getting up, and it took him a minute to realize, oh my god, the others are recording this. And it's like, and they played this brief moment back later in a different scene, and it's like, y'all worked with this guy for a while, you don't recognize his voice before he tried to cover it up. That part is weird to me. But then things really start to escalate when when Lacey and Ramirez sees this dude forcing himself inside Maria's house, and like a true detective, Lacey comes charging in, deals with the situation, and is just a drunk guy confusing Maria for somebody else. And so now she is just like completely turned on, because he sees like he's a man of action and stuff like that. And not only he's a nice guy, but he helps out with her brother. You know, he helped her out, like getting her home safely, and taking care of a guy trying to break into her house that possibly harm her. So as the guy is getting sent away on a cab, these two had a romantic night together. And then as they're waking up, Lacey is realizing, oh my god, and he's, you know, pulling around so he doesn't get spotted on the other side, and he's borrowing Maria's hat and scarf, and he's uh uh trying to be inconspicuous and avoid being identified as he's sneaking out. And they think, oh, this might be an associate of Montgomery's, so they're getting, like Prismo and Coleshank is getting all these, like rounding up like the cops and to find this person. And you got Richard Driver just running through all these different neighborhoods and hopping over fences. I know some of them had to be body doubles and stuff like that, but luckily he gets picked up by his partner, who later on chastises him about, like, dude, you gotta get your stuff together. I don't want to get in trouble because of you, because I worked very hard to get where I am as young as I am. So later on their way to Seattle, Montgomery and his cousin get spotted by some cops outside of Seattle. A chase ensues. The car crashes into the river. The cousin dies, but Montgomery managed to survive and swim away undetected. And to everybody else, oh, this case is closed. Montgomery is dead. So now Lacey's kind of contemplate on how he's going to explain to Maria who he really is and what he was doing and stuff like that, and if she ever want to talk with him again. While he's trying to do this, Montgomery shows up. Ramirez, Ramirez. You will say Ramirez. Ramirez tries to help, but they both get caught. They end up going to this paper mill where a shootout happens, and the orange hair guy is also working with Montgomery. What a freaking coincidence. And Ramirez stops the orange hair guy while Lacey deals with Montgomery and saves. Well, they kind of saved each other because Maria took out a piece of plywood and bonked Montgomery over the head to avoid Lacey from getting shot. And Lacey, now that he has access to a gun, shoots Montgomery dead. All right, the movie ends with the case being closed and the relationship between Maria and Lacey can begin. Now, they did make a sequel to this, another Stakeout, which I will, maybe next February, I will do a review on that. I do remember, I don't hate the sequel, but it didn't hit the same way as this movie. And it's also adding in a new character to this Stakeout with Rosie O'Donnell playing the sister to Lacey. So that's a whole thing, but it's fine, but it's not as good as the first Stakeout movie. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoy this. I like the chemistry between Maria and Lacey. It's just like, just, it isn't like a forced romance. There's a build up. Just like, there is an innate attraction, but it's not super quick. There's like a build up that I thoroughly enjoyed that makes sense once they get to the point of sleeping together. it felt natural, and I really dug that. Although you can say like, oh, they hooked up because she was scared and the adrenaline's high, and she was in danger, and he took action, and it's just kind of like an aphrodisiac thing. That would be true if the other previous stuff did not happen with her getting home and bringing her groceries and helping out her brother and that kind of thing. If all that stuff didn't transpire, then yeah, the relationship, the physical intimacy would have felt a bit hollow. But yeah, I really enjoy, because there's like a bunch of 80s stuff that are classic that kind of still hit very well even today. But yeah, definitely check this out. I have another movie to review for this month, Princess Bride, so look forward to that in a little bit. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube what you thought. If you've seen Stakeout before, let me know what you thought. If you haven't, check it out. Come back, let me know what you thought. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this with your friends, follow me in the links in the description, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace.